है ना डाटा। ओके तो ओके ओके देन तो क्या MBPS, लेकिन इधर तो कुछ भी नहीं है यार, कुछ भी नहीं है इधर तो। ESP टेस्ट मतलब किस में करते हो आप? ओके, लेकिन ये बफरिंग क्यों हो रही है इतना ज़्यादा? वही एग्ज़ाम का बगल में है मैं, लेकिन इधर भी तो दिखा रहा है 70-80 MBPS बार। अच्छा अच्छा, लेकिन पता नहीं क्यों। ये देखो अभी कंप्लीट हो रहा है ऑलमोस्ट, लेकिन यूट्यूब में ना। ओके ओके मैं देखता हूँ, हाँ ठीक है, ओके ठीक है ठीक है। Well dear students, I hope it's improved now. Good morning Sahil, hopefully it's improved now. There's no buffering on your end as well, I suppose. Good morning, good morning. There's no buffering, yeah, okay, but you know it's a BSNL net connectivity issue today. The speed may not be that great. The speed may not be that great, dear students. Okay, now it's running smoothly, it seems. From my end it's running smooth now, and hopefully on your end also it's going great now. In between there might be some problem, okay, because it's a server issue. The pack is still there, there is no problem with the pack. Anyway, so now it's very clear, okay. So now let's begin, dear students, okay. Yeah, yes, okay. Now it's perfect, it seems, okay. So dear students, today we are going to start with non-finites, okay. We are going to start with the non-finites. So first of all, let me discuss with you what is non-finite, but before that I would like to discuss with you what are finites, okay. So dear students, finite verbs are those verbs, finite verbs are those verbs which agree with the subject, okay. So the verbs which agree with the subject in number and person are called finite verbs. For example, you can see here in the example, he plays football. So dear students, plays is finite verb. Why? Because it agrees directly in number and person with the subject he. Therefore plays is called a finite verb. Whereas in the second sentence you can see, I would like to play. Here like is finite verb because it is agreeing with the subject, but to play is not the finite verb, it is the non-finite verb because it is not agreeing directly with the subject. Understood? So if there are two verbs in a sentence, the first verb is finite verb and the second one is non-finite verb, okay. And in non-finite also, dear students, there are three categories: participle, gerund and infinitive. So to play belongs to the infinitive category, okay. So you understood, I hope, what is finite verb. Like for example, another example you can see here, one of my friends loves to see the movie. So here the word loves matches, or you can say agrees directly with the subject one here, okay. Therefore loves is a finite verb in this sentence, whereas to see is the example of non-finite verb because it is not agreeing directly with the subject. So dear students, while teaching you subject verb agreement I told you. If a sentence starts with one of my, okay dear students, there's too much of buffering. Let me try for some more time, and if it doesn't work then we have to wind up. Okay, so it's a server issue, we can't help much in that. Let's try once, let's wait for some more time, let's see what happens. Okay, so dear students, as you can see here, I have already explained you what are finite verbs and what are non-finite verbs. So once again, let me remind you, in case it was buffering by the when I was explaining you the concept, that is why I am reminding you once again. Dear students, you see here, finite verb means the verb which agrees with the subject directly, that is called finite verb, and verb that doesn't agree with the subject directly, it is called non-finite verb. So in this example, finite verb is love and non-finite verb is to see. Okay, and here in the first example also, I would like to play football. Here like is finite verb because it is agreeing with the subject I. Here I would like to play, so like is the finite verb, whereas to play is non-finite because it is not agreeing with the subject. So finite verb is like here and non-finite is to play. Okay, so that's all about finite and non-finite verbs, dear students. Now let's move on to the non-finite segment once again. Okay, so as you can see here, non-finite verbs are those verbs which have no subject and are not changed according to the person or number of the subject or tenses. So it means non-finite verbs are those verbs which do not agree with the subject in number and person. Like when I say he plays cricket, the word plays is agreeing directly with the subject he. Therefore plays is called finite verb. Whereas when I say I love to play cricket, in that case there are two words in this sentence. One is love, another is to play. So the verb to play is non-finite because it does not agree with the subject directly. Rather, in the sentence I love to play cricket, the verb love agrees directly with the subject. Therefore it is finite verb. So dear students, you've understood the verb that agrees with the subject in number and person is called finite verb, whereas the verb which does not agree directly with the subject is called non-finite verb. So there are four kinds of non-finite verbs, dear students, as you can see here: participle, gerunds, verbal nouns, and infinitives. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about participles first. Okay, what are participles? Okay, so you've got to know what are participles first. Okay, so dear students, participles are of three types. Okay, participles are of three types. Like, let me show you here. Participles are of three types. Okay, like number one is called present participle. Okay, second one is called past participle. Then third one is called perfect participle. Okay, so there are three types of participle. Okay, you always remember participles are of three types. Okay, participles are of three types. So which are these types? They are present participle, past participle, and perfect participles. Perfect participle. Okay, so now let's go to, okay, now it's clear. Okay, now let's go to that part. Okay, let us first study the example, one example each of different types of participles. Okay, let us study first this one. You see, present participle. Present participle is ing form of the verb is always called present participle. Ing form of the verb is always called present participle. For example, walking stick is useful to an old man. Walking stick is useful to an old man. Here the verb walking is called present participle. Okay, and then let us move on to the example of past participle. Past participle means look at the burnt wood. Here you can see, dear students, burnt, it is the third verb 3, like verb 1 is burned, verb 2 is burned, verb 3 is also burned. Okay, so look at the burnt wood. Here burnt is used as past participle. Always remember, dear students, the past participle is that form of verb which is given in verb 3. So all the verb 3 forms of verbs are called past participle. And then let's move on to perfect participles. So which are perfect participles? Having gone there, I found him missing. So having gone, having completed, okay, having done my work. So whenever you have participle with having, okay, or it could be having, this is called perfect participle. Whenever you will have verb 3 of the verb 3 along with having, this is called perfect participle. Therefore, having completed, having gone, having done is the example of perfect participle. Okay, so dear students, I hope you've understood. Present participle always begins with ing. Okay, always has the ing tagged with the verb. Past participle always verb 3 form of the verb, and perfect participle is verb 3 with having. Okay, having gone, having come, having visited, all this. Understood? Now let us move on to the use of the present participle. Okay, what is the use of the present participle? How can you identify a present participle? Because dear students, always remember that present participle and gerund both look alike. Why? Because both have ing form, okay, with them. So how can you differentiate between a present participle and a gerund? We can differentiate because both have ing, okay, form. Both the present participle as well as gerund have ing form. Therefore, it is sometimes confusing for all of us to identify which one is present participle and which one is gerund. So now let me explain you the usage of present participle so that you do not get confused with the gerund. Okay, by seeing the function of present participle in the sentence, you shall be able to identify which one is present participle and which one is gerund. Okay, so let's go through the uses of present participle. First, you see, dear students, first of all, you see here present participle is used attributively. Attributively means, dear students, as a subject. Whenever the ing form will be given at the beginning of the sentence, this is called attributive use of the present participle. Okay, so whenever present participle will be there in the beginning of the sentence, then present participle is used attributively as a subject. Okay, like for example, second example, you see a rolling stone. Here again you can see the rolling is used, okay, attributively in the sentence as a subject. Therefore, whenever we use ing as a subject in the beginning of the sentence, it can be always used attributively. It is always used attributively. So you should remember this particular use of present participle. Like for example, the burning train was running first. So here again you can see the participle burning. The sentence starts with the burning train. The participle is given as a subject here. Okay, used as a subject here. Therefore, it is used as an attributive. Used as attributively. Okay, now let's move on to the second use of present participle, that is present participle here is used predicatively. Predicatively means as an object. Okay, so always remember, dear students, once again here let me show you once again. Here you can see, here you can see walking stick is useful for an old man. So here stick, whenever ing is used before the subject, it is used attributively, or rather you can say whenever present participle is used as a subject, it is called it is the use of attributive use of present participle. So how to identify? You will identify with by seeing the subject here. You see a walking stick. The stick is the subject. So as walking is used before stick, therefore walking present participle is used attributively. Here also rolling stone. Stone is the subject here, but present participle is used before the stone. Okay. Therefore, rolling is used attributively in the sentence. Once again, the burning train. The present participle burning is used before the train. Therefore, burning is used attributively here. And predicatively, whenever the participle is used after the object. For example, the officer kept me waiting for an hour. So you see, me is the object here in this sentence, because object is a word which is object is a noun or a pronoun which is used immediately after the verb. So therefore, me is a pronoun and which is used immediately after the verb. Therefore, me is the object of this sentence. But you can see after the object waiting is given here. It means it is also present participle but used predicatively. Predicatively means if the participle is used after an object, or you can say as an object whenever it is used. Okay. So as an object, what is the structure as an object? The structure whenever a participle will be used predicatively as an object, always remember that present participle will be used after the object. Only after the object, whenever present participle will be used, we can call it we can call it that present participle is used predicatively. And whenever present participle is used before the subject, we can say that it is used attributively. So here you see before the subject here, before the subject stone here, so it is attributively. And whenever the ing form is used after the object, it is used predicatively as an object. Understood? So I have explained you the attributive as well as predicative use of present participle. Once again, let me remind you, attributively means whenever the present participle will be used before the subject, it is used as attributively. But whenever it is used after the object, whenever present participle will be used after the object, it is called it is the predicative use of the present participle. Now you can see third example is it can be used as degrees of comparison. Degrees of comparison. Okay, like for example, Ram is more pleasing than his brother. More pleasing. Okay, Ram is more pleasing than his brother. So here pleasing is present participle which is used as degree of comparison. It is a comparative degree because more is used here before pleasing, therefore it is comparative degree. So here present participle is used as degree of comparison here. Okay, and which degree is this? This is comparative degree because more word is used here. Okay, if more word is used before the participle, it is the comparative degree, and otherwise if most is used, then it is superlative degree. Okay, so you understood. The third use is the use of present participle as degree of comparison. Now dear students, fourth example you see. Before let me check once whether there's no buffering at this moment. Very good, situation has improved now. So let's continue. Okay, so next use is absolutely with a noun or pronoun going before it. Okay, it is used absolutely. Now what is the meaning of absolute use of present participle, dear students? You can see the sky being clear, I went to play. The river being shallow, we went to swim. God willing, we shall meet once again. So you can see absolute use absolutely with a noun or a pronoun. It means whenever the participle will go after a noun. After a noun, so the river is a noun, God is noun. So whenever a participle will go immediately after a noun or a pronoun, of course the example of pronoun is not given here. I can tell you the example of pronoun also in this context. But let us first focus on the noun part. So when is a participle said to be used absolutely? A participle is said to be used absolutely when a participle is used immediately after a noun or a pronoun. Okay, in the above three examples you have seen that present participle is used as absolutely in the form of a noun. Okay, in the sense that whenever a participle ing present participle will be used after the noun, it is used as absolutely. Okay, it is used as absolutely. The river being shallow, so the present participle is used after river, after the noun, therefore it is used absolutely. And then again, God willing, willing is present participle which is used immediately after the noun, it is also so it is used as it is used absolutely. With pronoun, let me give you one example. He being honest, admitted his guilt or admitted his fault. He being honest admitted his fault. So he is a pronoun here, and immediately after the pronoun the ing form of the verb is used. Therefore in the sentence that I have just spoken, there present participle is used with, or you can say present participle is used after the pronoun. So whenever present participle is used immediately after a noun or a pronoun, it is used absolutely. Remember that. Okay, it is used absolutely. And dear students, as I told you, Jiren also begins. Jiren also has ing form. So has the participle. Then how will you identify Jiren from a participle? By these rules, by these uses, you shall be able to understand. Okay, if ing is given after a noun, then obviously it is present participle. Okay, like if ing is used to degrees of comparison, then obviously it's participle. Understood? So this is how, if you master these rules, if you remember these rules, then definitely you can be able to identify between a gerund and a participle. Okay. Next use you see, it may be modified by an adverb. See, modified means you can say in the simple language, if it is used after an adverb. So for example, loudly knocking at the door. Here you can see knocking is ing, it is present participle. Why? Because it is being modified by an adverb. So whenever a present participle will be modified by an adverb, means whenever a present participle will be preceded by an adverb, that is here loudly, then present participle is said to be modified by an adverb. Okay. Next you see, like a verb it may govern a noun or a pronoun. Hearing the noise, the thief ran away. So like a verb, okay, like a verb, it is governing the noun. Noun here is the thief. Okay, so hearing the noise, the thief ran away. This is an example of present participle because here present participle is governing a noun, that is here thief. Okay, governing means it is related to the, it is structurally related to the noun or a pronoun. That is why it is also a participle. And next and the last use of present participle is as an object complement. Object complement means whenever a participle will be used after an object, that is called object complement. Okay, object complement. Okay, so once I showed you that predicative use is also same as an object. Like see, so the officer kept me waiting. So whenever we get present participle after an object, then it is either used predicatively or it is used as object complement. So here, I saw Ram begging. I saw Ram begging. So begging is present participle which is used as an object complement. Complement means what, dear students? Complement means whenever a word will go after after an object, it is called object complement. Whenever a word will go after an object, that particular word is called object complement. Understood? So it is object complement, and here you can see it is used as predicatively. Okay, so it can also be used as predicatively, like the officer kept me waiting for an hour. So waiting is used here after the object. Likewise here also you can see as an object complement also I saw Ram begging. So whenever you find ing coming after an object, take it for granted that it is a present participle. Now dear students, I will explain you what are the errors that we normally make while using the present participle wrongly. Okay, so you see here errors in the use of participles. For example, the participle being a verb adjective, it must be attached to a noun or a pronoun. The participle must be attached to a noun or a pronoun. Why? Because it is called verbal adjective. Okay, verbal adjective. Okay, so for example, you can see here, sleeping on the bed, the snake bit the baby. The sentence is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because the participle he is not attached to a noun here. Okay, that is why it is the wrong usage of present participle. So what should be the answer? Sleeping on the bed, or while sleeping on the bed, the baby was bitten by a snake. Understood? Sleeping on the bed, or while sleeping on the bed, the baby was bitten by a snake. Understood? Second, another example you see, standing at the door, a cobra bit him. So it is also wrong. Why it is wrong? Standing at the gate, he was bitten by a cobra, or it should be standing at the gate, or while he was standing at the gate, a cobra bit him. So you can write standing at the gate, he was bitten by a cobra, or while he was standing at the gate, a cobra bit him. Okay, so this is the wrong usage of participle which we have to correct. Okay, so okay. Next we see the use of past participle. You see, past participle, as I told you dear students, it normally ends in ed or d or t or en or n. Like all the var 3 forms are referred to as past participle. For example, here you can see, to form perfect tense, I have done the work, present perfect tense. So I have done the work, done is the example of past participle. Likewise, to form the verb in passive voice, the moon was seen by me, seen. Okay, this is also the example of past participle. Okay, now as an adjective number 3, let the departed soul rest in peace. Departed soul. So as an adjective, why is it and like an adjective? Because adjectives are those words which are usually used before the noun. So here soul is the noun, and here past participle is used before the soul, before the noun. Therefore here a participle is used as an adjective. Okay, so let the departed soul rest in peace. Departed is the example of past participle. Next, to transform a complex sentence into a simple sentence. For example, blinded by a dust storm, they lost their way. Blinded by a dust storm, they lost their way. Okay, here you can see it is a simple, to transform a complex sentence into a simple sentence. Okay, we use this, blinded by a dust storm, they lost their way. So it is the example of this, blinded by a dust storm, they lost the way. Here the example of past participle is blinded. Okay, here you can see it is the example of blinded by a dust storm, they lost their way. Next, after the objects of the verbs see, hear, feel, find, get, wish, etc., we saw a few trees laden with trees. So sometimes we get the verb feel, sometimes we get the verb find, sometimes get, sometimes keep, all this. So always remember, dear students, whenever a verb will be in the V3 form, it is the example of past perfect tense. Okay, now what is perfect participle? You see here, perfect participle represents an action as completed at some past time. So perfect participle represents an action as complete at some past time. For example, having rested, we continued our journey. Having finished my breakfast, I went to the school. So here, as I told you, whenever you will have the past participle with having, it is in combination called perfect participle. Like having finished is the example of perfect participle. Likewise, having rested is also an example of perfect participle. Okay, so that's all about participle, dear students. So if you have any doubts regarding what I have already taught you, you can ask me, you can text me the question. I have explained you how to use present participle. I have explained you what kind of what are the uses of past participle and also past perfect participle. Okay, so have you understood the examples as well as the uses of present participle? Let me know with the text so that I can proceed to the Jiren part. Okay, to the Jiren part. Concurrent views is concurrent views are 10. Okay. Only 10. Okay, so dear students, now let us move on to gerund part. As I told you, participle and gerund looks alike. Participle and gerunds look alike because both ends with ing. So let's find out how the gerund works. Okay, a gerund is that form of a verb which ends in ing and has the force of a noun and a verb. For example, swimming is a good exercise. Reading is my favorite pastime. So these are the examples of gerund. It is not participle, gerund. So how do I identify, how do we differentiate a gerund from a participle? Let's find out here. You can see first use is subject of a verb. So here is the verb and smoking is used before the subject. Therefore smoking is injurious to health. Smoking is referred to as gerund. It's not a participle because it is used directly before the verb. So whenever ing form of the verb is used before the verb, it is called subject of a verb. Object of a verb now. Stop singing now. So singing is ing. Okay, singing is gerund. Why? Because it is used directly after a verb. So whenever we use an ing form immediately after the verb, then that particular ing form becomes the object of the verb. Object means something that goes after. This is object. Subject means something that goes before. Here participle is going after the verb, that is why participle is used as an object of the verb. Here participle is going before the subject, therefore participle is used as a subject of the verb. So you understood, the first is subject of a verb, second is object of a verb. So whenever we get ing form as subject of the verb or as object of the verb, then it becomes gerund, not present participle. Next, complement of a verb. Okay, complement of a verb, for example, like an object of verb. Okay, for example, complement means what? Something that goes after the verb. This is called complement. So here you see, but which verb? There are several kinds of verbs. Verbs which are like be verbs, like am, is, are, was, were. Okay, so if ing word goes after the be verb, then it becomes the complement. Always remember that. But if ing goes after the action verb, main verb, then the ing becomes the object of the verb. For example, stop singing now. So stop is the main verb, action verb, and singing has come after stop. Therefore the singing becomes the object of the verb. But here also you can see believing is coming after the verb, but this verb is not an action verb, it is a be verb. So if ing goes after a be verb, the ing it is called gerund, and it is used as a complement of a verb. So you understood complement like object. Complement is also has the same function. Complement goes after the verb, like object goes after the verb. But if the present participle, if the ing form of the verb goes after the be verb, then it is called complement of the verb. But if the ing goes after the main verb, then it is called object of the verb, or the action verb, it is called object of the verb. Like what I dislike most is smoking. Here also smoking has come after is, which is be verb, that is why smoking is used as complement of the verb. Now object of a preposition. Object means something that goes after. So whenever your ing will go after the preposition, it is of its preposition, therefore playing is called object of the preposition. Always remember, object is called playing is called object of the preposition. Why? Because playing is used after the preposition of. Next, gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns. Preceded means going before. So ये देखो, gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns. You see, before passing, possessive noun is given. Possessive means something that shows ownership is called, or possession is called possessive nouns. Okay, something like this is my car. My is possessive here. Okay, possessive pronoun. And if I say this is Renu's car, then Renus is possessive noun. Understood? So always remember, if ing is preceded by a possessive noun, it is also called gerund. And what is the use? Use is gerunds are preceded by possessive nouns. Whenever a gerund will be, whenever an ing form of the verb will be preceded by a possessive noun, then this ing is called gerund. So these are some of the ways by which you can identify which is gerund, which is present participle. For example, I ask the favor of your granting my prayer. So granting is followed by the possessive pronoun here, your. Okay, so it can be possessive pronoun as well as possessive noun. So as ing is followed by the possessive pronoun here, therefore this is gerund, not participle. So you've got to remember all the rules to be able to identify which is gerund and which is participle. Next, gerunds are used in compound nouns. For example, the fish fell from the frying pan, compound noun, because frying pan are used together. Walking stick, they are used together. Therefore, they are called compound nouns. So gerunds are also used in compound nouns. Okay. Next, gerunds are used absolutely. Absolutely means what, dear students? If the ing is used as a subject, it is used absolutely. Okay. So playing cards being his aversion, we did not play bridge. So as playing has come before the subject cards here, therefore playing is used attributively here. Okay. So we have got the attributive use of the of ing form in both present participle also and gerund also. Okay, then how can we identify which one is present participle and which one is gerund? Let's study here. See the example, playing cards being his aversion, we did not play bridge. Okay, aversion means dislike. Okay, playing cards, he dislikes playing cards, therefore we did not play bridge. Okay, now let us go to the attributive use of the participle and find out the difference. Here also you see it is used attributively here, you see. Where it is used attributively, you see, this is gerund. We have to go to present participle. So here also you can see here attributively. Walking stick is useful. A rolling stone gathers no moss. The burning train was running fast. Okay, so here ing is also used before the subject, but mostly you can see in this sentence it is a single sentence. Okay, only single part of the sentence, single sentence. So whenever you will find the ing form in single sentence, it is the example of present participle. But here you can see in case of Jiren, you can see here there are two parts of the sentence. Playing cards being his aversion, we did not play bridge. It's a two-part sentence. Okay, so this is how you can identify, you can differentiate between which is a gerund and which is a present participle. Whenever present participle will be used absolutely, in that case what will happen, it will be a complex, it will be a two-part sentence. Okay, it will be a two-part sentence, playing cards being his aversion. But whenever we shall use it attributively for the participle, it is normally a single sentence. Okay, now dear students, verbal nouns. See, what are verbal nouns? A gerund preceded by the and followed by of is called verbal noun. All verbal nouns are not gerund, but all gerunds are verbal noun. All gerunds are also called verbal nouns, but all verbal nouns are not gerund. For example, here it is said he is engaged in the reading of a novel. So you see here reading is ing, it is a gerund, and whenever a gerund will be preceded by the article the and followed by of, this particular ing form of the verb is called verbal noun. Always remember, okay? A gerund preceded by the and followed by of is called a verbal noun. Okay? So dear students, hopefully you have understood the difference between verbal noun and gerund and present participle. Okay, so if you remember the usage of present participle and gerund, in that case you can easily differentiate which ing form of the verb is called gerund and which ing form of the verb is called present participle. Okay, so how many of you are watching me? Those who are watching me right now, please text yes. Just text yes. Just send me a text yes, so that I understand you have listened to me throughout the end. Very good. Nidhu has been with me throughout the end. Who else? Just write yes. Salam, very good. Laxman, very good. Niraj, okay, very good. Sania, very good. Riya Balki, Nidhu, very nice. Mudula. Who else? Vinita, are you there? Vinita is absent, it seems. Ranvijay, where are you? Ranvijay? Always remember, if you are smart, I am smarter. I can easily identify who is there, who is not, by such techniques. Okay? You've got to be with me throughout the end, or else how will you make progress in grammar? Transformation of this particular topic comes under transformation of sentences. Always remember, okay, this particular topic comes under transformation of sentences. Okay, so we have to learn this. Okay, so you go through my website once again and read these rules. Okay, so that when I take a quiz on the next day, I shall be testing your knowledge of gerund and participle. Okay, I shall be testing your knowledge of whether you are able to identify a gerund and a participle. So you go through the rules that I have explained for each one of you, so that next day you are able to take the quiz, and then only I shall be able to understand whether you have understood the difference between a gerund and a participle. Okay, and dear students, as you know that our school is celebrating the COVID-19 prevention awareness program. This week is our turn. So on Thursday we have a quiz competition for you. So please do study the articles on social distancing. Okay, social distancing guidelines by Indian government. Okay, you study the article social distancing guidelines by Indian government, and also study some more articles on social distancing, so that you are able to write the quiz well. Okay, take the test well, because it is and this from our school, the best top 3 scorers, top 3 early entries, the top 3 scorer as well as early entries will be selected. Therefore, as soon as the quiz will go to you at 9 o'clock in the morning, try to be very quick and forward it to me, submit it within half an hour. Then you stand a chance of being among the top 3. Otherwise, top 3 scorers. Otherwise, what will happen? Many students who might score same score. In that case, it will be difficult for us to identify which is number 1, which is number 2. Okay. Ashirvad, that is an old quiz. The new quiz I haven't given you. The quiz that I have sent you, that is from Ambuja Public School, Rabriavas. Okay, that you have submitted to me. But Ambuja Vidyaniketan Upahari has also got a quiz competition on Thursday, which will be sent to all the groups by Thursday on the same day at 9 o'clock, 9 in the morning, and you are supposed to submit me on the same day by 5 p.m. But don't delay it, because if you delay it, you don't stand a chance of being selected among the top 3 students. Okay, because many students will be scoring the same marks. In that case, we shall shortlist those students who have submitted earlier. Understood? Therefore, you prepare very well, and as soon as you get the quiz, within 10-15 minutes you finish it off and then submit it. But make sure that in the process of solving the quiz questions, you should not be in a tearing hurry, because if you are in a tearing hurry, you might make mistakes. Okay, take your time, but what I suggest you, try to return the quiz within half an hour, so that you stand a chance of being selected among the top 3 scorers of our school. Okay, so all the very best, and do prepare from the government of India guidelines on social distancing. You can go through the social distancing guidelines of Maharashtra also, like state-wise. You can also see, it's all the same of course, but you can go through the Maharashtra government's directives also. You can go through the central government directives also, Indian government directives also, and you can also read some newspaper articles on social distancing, so that you are well prepared to take the quiz on Thursday. And I shall forward you the quiz on Thursday, because the competition is on Thursday at 9 o'clock sharp. I shall forward to each and every group, and this competition is open from 9th standard 9 to 12. I have already sent you a circular. Okay, so please go through the circular and start preparing for it. Okay, all the very best for your quiz on Thursday, dear students. Thank you so very much for staying connected with me. Thank you so much. Let me wind up now, and you please do go through the rules of participles and Jiren that I have explained you today. And if you have any query, you can ask your query on my website through the chat box. Okay, the chat box is made exclusively for you. So if you have any doubt regarding anything of your syllabus, you please do text me on the chat, so that over the chat box, so that I am able to reply you within 24 hours. Okay, thank you, dear students. Take care of yourself, and